So greetings to you. Well, it's Friday, and we shall continue with the struggle. Definitely, it seems like the war is becoming a global action. Unfortunately, there aren't many sides to good news that I can speak of based on my observations and what is being said. We just have to keep our fingers crossed in a positive way and make sure that Guyana stays safe and those in the diaspora can find their safety as well. The lunatic from the Mohammed's camp, which is Azruddin himself, by the way, Azruddin Mohammed, what happened to the allegations during the years 2000 to 2010 about your company, your father and their company, scamming the government with your vehicle imports? You see, the Americans were tracking you from 2017, so to speak. But you people were playing dirty politics and corrupting local officials since in the early 2000s. Our Guyanese forgot that you guys were, if not the largest or one of the largest vehicle importers in Guyana. Heavy duty machinery, luxury vehicles, SUVs and things like that. Guyanese are forgetting that your crimes didn't begin in 2017. It began way. And every time you try, you manage to evade by doing what you do best, being the #1 scam artist in Guyana. Welcome to Uncensored Guyana. I'm Dr. L. Prasad. I thank you for your viewership. Share this program, give me the thumbs up, the likes, the love, because the battle continues. The battle for the soul of Guyana. I shall recognize the anniversary of the death, of the passing, the transitioning of our Lord and Savior, Dr. Cheddi Jagan, the father of modern Guyana. We observe his death. But I want to go beyond that. We have to first recognize that such a great soul was given birth to on the ground in Guyana by Guyanese parents who would have raised him in the consciousness, the beauty of knowledge and wisdom, who would have been guided by the hand of God itself to making him eligible for being the father of the nation. He saved Guyana not just from the British, but he fought the enemies of Satan. He fought against adversaries. He fought against witchcraft. He fought against unseen demons. He fought against seen demons. He fought against the worst tyrant next to Hitler in the history of the world, Forbes Burnham. And Cheddi Jagan triumphed to the point where God not just brought Cheddi to the mountain top, he gave Cheddi the opportunities to step into the promised land. And by stepping in, I mean symbolically making Cheddi Jagan president. So he could have sealed off the deal between God and Guyana. If only Cheddi would have been alive today to see the great sons that his legacy his inspiration, his party raised up to continue that path Guyana has been on, that trajectory to 2026, where as a result of that, we have produced some of the greatest politicians in the history of the world. Now we have a president who is respected, loved, and recognized globally to the point where the great American leader, Donald Trump, single-handedly requested the audience of our president to discuss matters of global security in a time when we are currently, as in the globe, the world, trying to prevent an actual third world war. I'll come back to that. Ajruddin Muhammad, while you on the other side, continue with your low-life mentality, continue with your bottom house, zinc knocking, bullyism, invading people's privacy, your disrespect for women, your disrespect for the community of LB, your disrespect for human rights, while holding the position of opposition leader, such an important position, and you don't have the decency after all that you have been accused of and faced, and the fact that it's only your money and the trickery lawyers that you have that is saving you or buying you time from actually being convicted. You don't have the decency to step aside, to tell the Guyanese people, look, you are a man of law and order as you pretended to be, and you're going to not denounce, you're going to step down as opposition leader and fight your battles. Wouldn't it be a worthy victory if you can exonerate yourself from all the accusations while as a citizen, a civilian? Wouldn't you get more support from the Guyanese public if you step away from the constitutionally allocated opposition seat and give the process a chance? You'll be respected more. But the fact that you have no ounce of emotion, and after being involved in crime for such a long time, since the early 2000s, ripping off the Guyanese from such a long time, you see, the Americans only bring to Guyana's attention the crimes from 2017, or at least that's what the records show. But if the Guyana government or whoever was in charge can pull up the files of the many accusations of fraud, tax evasion, money laundering that the Mohammeds were accused of or fingered in since the early 2000s, we would surpass 191 billion, surpass that by hundreds of billions. And this family who raped, abused, misused, corrupted innocent, desperate public servants by using their blood money can today show up in your society, your communities, pretending to care about you. For the first time in his life, he's actually walking on mud or sand roads, and you think it is special because the billionaire came off his throne and is standing with you to get a picture, and in his mind he's saying, don't touch me, creating this barrier around himself by his body language. So people are so afraid to go close to the guy because they can sense he doesn't want them to touch him. Imagine a time like Pagua, where people would soak your skin without even knowing who you are, because all barriers are taken down on Pagua. All barriers. regardless of what religious conviction you have. Your brother, your neighbor aren't concerned about that. He's concerned that, hey, I am happy that you're here alive today in Pagua so I can soak you. Symbolic of washing away whatever negativity and then beautifying you with sweet powder, the aroma of beauty of perfume, representing good things to come for the next year. The fact that that's the attitude that most people have, if not all of us, when it comes to celebrating and observing Pagua. You, Ajudin Mohammed, who would have gotten votes thanks to the lunatic pandit that you have, would have had some unsuspecting Hindus who may have given you 5 or 10 votes. The point is, votes are votes. Also, you got a lot of votes from the homosexual community. Look what you did to them. And on a day as Pagua, where you want to prove yourself more humane than President Ali, you are a uniter than President Ali. You went around to wherever you went, dressed in a common outfit, blue for that matter, and not an ounce of powder on you. The pictures you took is as though you didn't want people to touch you. After all, you are a good Muslim who desecrated the mosque by inciting division, degrading human beings because of their sexual orientation, accusing other Muslims for allowing human beings to come into the masjid to pray, not knowing why they came. Maybe they're praying for strength so they can deal with whatever issues they have personally. But no, you pushed from majis and people in the masjid to block these individuals. Then on Pagua, you doubled down on that by not wanting to interact with people on such a beautiful occasion. No powder on your skin, don't soak you, don't touch you because you're a good Muslim. Yeah, you're a Shia Muslim, an extremist, and we have seen that over and over. We continue to see that. Calling on the Muslim brothers to stand together as Shia Muslim, enforce Sharia law. Women are not important. Homosexuals should be put aside. All other religions are not important. Ban Pagua, ban Christmas. That is the message you are sending, Ajudin Muhammad, while at the same time you hold the sacred office of opposition leader. You are opposed to everything. This is not political for you. You are opposed to Muslims like President Irfan Ali, who loves everyone. Look at the president, the great uniter on Pagua. Look at him. You couldn't recognize the guy. You couldn't recognize that this is President Ali. I mean, he is a Muslim. And he played Pagua more than the Hindus themselves. No pandit or priest enjoyed Pagua more than President Ali. And that's the man you're accusing of being biased, racial, prejudiced, bigot. When your actions, Ashruddin, has demonstrated that you are the devil in the Guyana community. They should declare war against you. They should declare war against you, Ashruddin. Strip you of all your rights. Because you continue to violate every aspect of society that stands for good and order and morals. Only your money is protecting you. You don't have any status. What fucking status you have? The people who made you opposition leader, you're belittling them. Look what you did to the Hindus. You hardly wanted to touch. Imagine you are Indian. The only difference is you're a Muslim. But you have taken this Shia Muslim mentality so personal that you see yourself as a Shia Muslim as better than another Indo-Guyanese, even though biologically you're the same. But because of your mentality as a Shia Muslim, and the other Indo-Guyanese might be a Hindu or a Christian, you're better than them. So therefore, they can't touch you. But you slime to the Afro-Guyanese. Why? Because you are afraid of them. All the bluff and the mouth you have and all the big talks you have, you only go after Indians. You never go after the blacks. PNC was in power. Yeah, of course, I get it. They were in your pockets. Okay, let's forget that. But for now, how many blacks are in the PPP? Ministers. You mean they're not enjoying the good life too? They don't have big houses? Look, the other day, Campbell bought a car. Typical black man, you give him some money, he buys a big car and show off. Anyway, you said nothing. The PNC is boycotting you in Linden. They're pressuring you and your people. You say nothing. As a matter of fact, you have a black person fighting with the black people. Tabitha Haley, you put her, hey, no, you deal with them Negroes. I am afraid, I'm a coward. I only want to deal with the Indians because I know Indian people are peaceful, especially the Hindus. And since the president is a good Muslim, he's not going to come after me. You hypocrite. But give account, and I remind the Guyanese of the crimes of the Mohammeds, alleged crimes, in the early 2000s up to 2010, and continue 2015, 2020. Waiting extradition. So my fellow Guyanese, we have this usual laying blames at the PPP. You know, the two women, black women dragged the delinquent, yeah, I said delinquent teen, because she's still going to secondary school, so I guess she ain't 18 yet, on the roadways. I wouldn't justify that, but like I said before, it's a black thing. I'm doubling down on that. It's a black thing. That's how they treat each other. They like attention. They do everything in public. Have you seen the mother of that lady, that young lady? Have you seen the mother? Yeah, you have. Take a look at the mother, and you'll understand why the daughter was treated like that. Look at the mother. Does she look like anybody decent? Piercing everywhere. Look at the profile. Imagine a woman like that raising a decent teenage daughter. It's not possible. So these things aren't accidental. Like I said before, when you see these young men committing crime, they're killing each other, they're smoking, they're drinking, all these kinds of stuff. Take a good look at their parents. If you make a baby for a thug from the ghetto, what do you think you'll produce? A Christ child? An Irfan Ali? Or a Dr. Prasad, Dr. Love, whatever you want to call me? No, you produce that. You produce what you see there, the two black women dragging, that's what you produce. So don't make excuses for these people. Don't sympathize with these people. And the director of former director of the Child Protection Agency under the PNC, laying blame as if this is a racial thing. Take a look at how many crimes committed during the time of the PNC against the Child Act. Take a look, go look, do your research. Where was the cries then? Where was the calls? Who point fingers then? But everything now is racial. Muhammad is making it racial and the PNC making it racial. Why? Because we have an Indian government. Do we? The Prime Minister is in America, or did he come back with the summit under the security thing with the Secretary of War? Prime Minister. Did you see an Indian Prime Minister there? Black, representing Guyana. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, who is he? Black. So if you want the perception that Guyana is an Indian government, you wouldn't have a black foreign secretary or Minister of Foreign Affairs. You'll have an Indian one, not a black one. Correct the mentality. The PNC will continue to play the race card because that's all they can do. That's the best they can do. And I've said before that all of these agencies are controlled by the PNC, Child Protection Agency, even though it comes under the Ministry of Social Services, and we have an Indo-Guyanese minister, everybody else is black. What does that make you? You think they'll cooperate? You think they're going to cooperate with a minister? They wouldn't, because they want things to go bad. So who gets the blame? Oh, look, it's the PPP because they hate black people. If every time black people say everybody hate them, they see an automatic rise in their bank account, they'll be the richest race on earth. But making that continued claim, if it's not America, if it's not Europe, if it's not the West is against Africa, every opportunity they get, they blame it on somebody else. They blame the situation on somebody else instead of being inspired and trying to aspire to do better or to compete. Like I said many times, if you hate the Indians or you hate the PPP, be better than them, compete with them, stand together as blacks. But look at what you did. You voted your own people out of office, and you put the opposition as an Indo-Guyanese man. So who's the fool here? Why you keep pointing a finger at the Ali government? Why not point a finger at the PNC and yourself? Because you are the one continuing to destroy society. You are. I have a challenge I want to propose. Listen to my challenge. Georgetown is under a curse. Let's go to Linden. Linden is under a curse. Because it's just like the name. The value is in the name. The value is in the name. When I go to Trinidad, I am treated different because of my last name, Warner. Barbados is the same. I don't like the Bajan government. I think they're racist bastards. But in terms of the system, the country, if I visit there, my last name, Warner. Trinidad the same, because it's a prominent name. And I look like them, they look like me. So Trinidad, Warner, I get special treatment. Because Jack Warner, and Warner is very big in Trinidad. It's huge, the name is huge. Linden, the name is cursed. It represents evil. Why? Because it's named after a man that nobody wants to remember. People want to keep as far as possible from Bornham. You think they want to associate with his name? Try going somewhere and put your name as Bornham. See how you'll be treated. Regardless of where you go. You're like, huh? This is a... So you want the curse of Linden to be lifted? Change the name. Get rid of the name Linden. You get rid of the name, you get rid of the curse. Same thing with Georgetown. You want Georgetown to step into the period where they can experience real blessings, unity. This is not just about economics. This is about societies. Societies has to be impacted as well, not just about the growth and development of Georgetown. No, it must transcend into humans. But only humans can absorb energies. The name Georgetown represents a colonial time. King George. Guyana has just celebrated in context how many years? 50 something years of independence from the British. Why are we still calling Georgetown Georgetown? The man who has truly fought for the independence of Guyana, why not call Georgetown after him? Cheddi Town. Name Georgetown after Cheddi. That's respecting his legacy. You're going to name an airport, a building, because it's a building. What is he, Trump? There is no highway in Guyana named after the Cheddi Jagan Highway. Which highway? Why not name the highway from Berbice to the East Coast Cheddi Jagan Highway? Don't name a building after the man. Change the whole name of Georgetown and name it Cheddi Town. The whole name. You can do it. On documentation, Linden is called Linden, right? Who did it? PNC did it. Barnum did it. They were in government. They passed whatever need to be passed to name these places after themselves. PPP is in government. We have the majority, 36 seats. You mean you can't pass these legislations in the parliament? You can. You're the government. You can do anything. Change the name of Georgetown to Cheddi Town. I'm supporting that. Yeah, and my voice matters. I represent thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people. So I'm speaking on behalf of them. We want Georgetown to name to change to Cheddi Town. Don't just recognize Cheddi when it's his death, not even the man's birth. When it's Cheddi's birthday, let's have a national holiday on Cheddi's birthday. National holiday. He is who we should remember. We celebrate Christmas, right? We celebrate Christmas belonging to a deity that we still can't verify that actually existed. Nonetheless, we embrace it because we are told to do that. Well, now let's tell ourselves to put aside a day, Cheddi's birthday, and celebrate it as a national holiday. That's when we should have remembrance that he was born. You have to be first born, given birth to, before you can die. Let's celebrate a national holiday in honor of the birth of Cheddi Jagan. You see why you should put me in government? Because we seem to have a lot of politicians who are too chicken to get things done. I'll get it done. You think if I was president, I mean, we love Irfan Ali. President Ali, don't take it personal. You know me. I say things. You know, I get things off my chest. Don't take it personal, President Ali. I understand. You got to do what, you know, you will do. But I'm saying if I was president and I have the majority of the parliament, I am renaming Georgetown to Cheddi Town. I am giving a national holiday in honor of Cheddi. Yes, I am. Even the university, you can change the name. Rename Barjag the River Bridge. Good. You have Heroes Highway. If it was not for the unfortunate tragedy for the soldiers, a lot of us wouldn't know who they were. Because you ask people who the military are, nobody knows. But their sacrifice or their accident, you know, well, we celebrate, we name Heroes Highway. But you have a lot of other highways in Guyana you can name after heroes of Guyana, real heroes. Real heroes. Don't twist that statement. Now, I also want to get to the issue why the president is going, which is tomorrow. I think he should be in America already, but to have this summit, the summit of the Americas. Okay? Trinidad is in a crisis, unfortunately. And the Trinidad Prime Minister She's doing her best. It's not easy, but she's doing her best. She has to pick up the pieces of the former prime minister who devastated the country. They enjoy crime. Black people enjoy crime. Now she has to fix that. She just got there. It's not a year yet. So with all of that, Guyana and Trinidad need to be vigilant because of the global conflict. Because both countries produce oil. Both countries. So the issues with the oil in the Middle East can impact Guyana and Trinidad. So they have to stand united because the rest of the CARICOM is against Guyana and Trinidad. We need to thank the American government for not abandoning us. So what Donald Trump has done with a few other Latin American presidents to get this summit going to discuss issues that are very important. Security, economy, and all these safety, narco trafficking, and all these things. The key element would have a lot to do with Azruddin Mohammed. Because their ties. He is tied to Maduro, who is tied to Iran, who is tied to the Hezbollah, who is tied to the Tren de Aragua, who is tied to all of these criminal networks. That threatens security and stability in the region. You go back on the history of the Mohammed's wealth, then you would understand the rate of their growth from nothing, seemingly in a space of a short time, to become multi-billionaires. It is not ordinary. Not ordinary. And they actually manufactured nothing. From selling pants, length, or selling whatever. No, these are sponsored criminals for hire. And saw loopholes and utilized that while evading the system. Because there's no way for them to have grown so quick in such a short space of time. And the same man is on social media accusing ministers of government about getting drawback because 6 months ago they're living in some shabby house and then a year after they have a mansion. He is speaking of his own situation. But while you may accuse the ministers of maybe getting a gift to help to do some favor for somebody, what justifies your growth? Mamas, what? You had nothing before. But suddenly, you start importing huge heavy-duty equipment, contracting equipment. From what? You and your father had done the heads. So what business have you established that represented your massive increase? Is it from gold? No. My suspicions are all these things with having gold mining stuff in the interior. That was just a front. It's always just a front. There's no way you can make your billions from just mining gold. And there's so many, there are thousands of gold miners in Guyana who just live to get by. You're special. Look at the recent case where you, Muhammad, talked about this gold company, El Dorado Gold. From my research, El Dorado Gold was in business since in the 80s. It is some 1987, around that time. And you don't hear much about them. They're not big. As in you, Muhammad. And they're in gold since then. They're supposed to be globally renowned. They're supposed to be like you know, the trillionaires. But no, you can't experience massive and quick growth if you pay taxes. Because when you make $1,000, 35% has to go to the treasury. So you only have 65%. And from the 65%, you got to pay your staff. You have to continue operations. So your profit is just very small. And based on that profit margin, it takes decades for you to reach a status to say you are a millionaire, not a billionaire. But when you don't pay your staff, you don't pay taxes. In between your gold business, you're doing drugs, money laundering, criminal activities, then you have all your income for yourself. Then yes, in a short space of time, you can go from a street hustler to wearing suit because you don't pay anybody. So that's the bottom line here, folks. This is a very important summit the president is going to be conducted with President Donald Trump. And the fact that the war is getting out of hand, and a lot of the people from the other side are now pointing a finger at India, trying to pull them into the, I've said before, the real superior country is India, but they're remaining silent, neutral, which is good. But this is what I want to bring your attention to. The American government is saying publicly that their stockpile, the military stockpile, is depleting, meaning they can't sustain this war. Imagine a few months if this prolongs. If this prolongs over 3 months, and the Americans can't replenish their military stockpile quick enough, who do you think will jump in and take advantage of that? China. China will. So if the Americans exhaust their war power, because the ammunition is exhausted on this Iran conflict, and Iran is bombing the Middle East. Now Australia wants to get involved, or they're already involved, and England is getting global, but China is keeping quiet, allowing the rest of the world to fight amongst themselves, use up their military supplies. And when they can't bomb each other anymore, China steps in. And who would China target for annihilation? America. They will target America because China has massive, unlimited stockpile, military stockpile, and they produce them every day. They can't run out. But as it is, they don't have the might to defeat the Americans. But if the American stockpile goes down, how could they fight against China? They don't have weapons. They have the might, but no weapons. So when China does that, who would have to come to the rescue of the world? India. Because India's military might is larger than China. India produces ammunition, arms, and weapons faster than anybody else. India can dominate a global country because they have the means, the personnel, the equipment. They have it. The only one that can silence China is India, not America, because they're next door. That is scary. Despite what we say about America, I would prefer America remains in control and not China. As an individual, I would rather America maintain what they're doing and not China. So let's hope that this summit goes well. And let's hope President Irfan Ali If you can stress the importance to the American government of taking their boy, Azruddin Mohammed, if you can stress the importance of them doing that, I would appreciate it. Because the man is setting you up for a political fall, meaning he's pushing all the rhetoric he's pushing. He's attacking vulnerable communities. He's inciting racial division. He's pushing anti-Israel, anti-America rhetoric online. He is paying and buying social media platforms so that they can be favorable to him. He's silencing all of the critics in Guyana against him because he's using money, actual finances to do that. That is not good for the image of the Ali government, because they are vulnerable society, vulnerable individuals online who are following these pages. And I saw something there that the Mohammeds also purchased Stabrook News. I wouldn't doubt that. I would believe that. They would be, obviously they will purchase Stabrook News because all they got to do is pump some money into it, keep it going, change the name, because Stabrook News was already under their control. All they have to do is change the name, and it's still the Mohammeds. Either way, it's Mohammeds. But the President Irfan Ali, Guyana depends on you. The region depends on your expertise. The fact that you are trusted. The world listens to you. For you to lobby on behalf of your country, to let the Justice Department in America use their leverage to pressure the Guyana Justice Department to get this guy out. You are a peacemaker, President Ali, but look at what the opposition is doing. Look at what the opposition is doing. Politicizing things and playing with people's emotions and pushing and inciting all of these divisions that is unhealthy for Guyana. The ERC had nothing to say about the statements of the Mohammed in the masjid. Nothing to say. Is that the power of money? Blood money? It is. Guyanese need to be educated as to who this man is. He's dangerous. Raised by a criminal. Guyanese need to be educated with that. Make comparisons to Dr. Jagan. Look how many times they put him in prison. What Barnum did to Jagan. He wasn't sanctioned. He wasn't indicted. He was the purest of purest. He could have been corrupted too, but that was not his purpose. His purpose was to save Guyana, and he saved Guyana. Now it is up to you, President Ali, to continue to save Guyana, those vulnerable communities that the Mohammeds are exploiting. They have a new calling now. No more charities. They ain't building houses anymore. They ain't giving out cash anymore. Thanks to the High Court, it turned down their request to operate their illegal cambio. That's justice served. But all of these accomplishments the court is achieving under other judges and magistrate, but you can't get a conclusion to the extradition case under Judy Latchman. All these other cases before the courts with the Mohammeds, they're losing. But the case with Judy Latchman is not going anywhere. What's going on here? We have to get to the bottom of that. President Ali, protect us. Protect the future of Guyana. Protect the children of Guyana. Because despite how much you try and you fight for your country, if the Mohammeds continue on the path they're going, and they continue with spreading these things they're spreading and pushing whatever propaganda they're pushing, and they insult the Americans or the Israelis, who do you think will suffer? President Ali? The people of the country. So please, I ask you, be the good president you are, the great leader you are, and ask the Americans to speed up this process. You know they can. They have the means to do it. So many people already left via extradition. As recent as a few days ago, the Bino guy. And the biggest criminal is still there to enjoy belittling people, embarrassing people, invading people's privacy, spreading fake news, abusing his privileges. He's still around to do that, and everybody else accepted their fate and they left. But he's now fighting on, lobbying, getting lobby forms to bribe the American officials to forget his crimes. No. Like the American system says, no matter where you are in the world, if you hurt Americans, if you commit crimes against Americans, they'll get you. No matter where you are, they'll come for you, they'll get you. And if extradition don't work, they have other means to get you. Save Guyana from Azruddin Mohammed. The man is a racist, he's a bigot, he's evil, he's greedy, he lacks mercy, he lacks love, he lacks compassion. He's a liar, a deceiver, the son of Satan. Guyana should be freed from the poison of Azruddin Mohammed. I want to say that he was the one who deceived Eve. He's a snake in the Garden of Eden, but he's a Muslim. You wouldn't believe in that. I don't know the story of Islam, but I want to say he's Rawan's child, the evil one. We got to pray to Lord Hanuman to defeat it, to protect us against that evil criminal. And to all your supporters, Mr. Muhammad, I take it back. You ain't no mister. Ask her dean. Ask her dean. To you and your supporters, grab this. I say what I have to say because it's my responsibility, a self-proclaimed responsibility to keep Guyana safe. And I'll do that from whatever part of the world and using my platform and my voice and my talent to do that. I don't need your support. Okay? And stop sending me made up stories, made up documentation against my government. Stop doing it. I ain't gonna put it on my platform. I'm not gonna talk about it. I won't put it on my platform. I'm saying it clear. I am pro PPP. I'm pretending. Okay, I'm biased against everybody else. I'm prejudiced against the PNC and the Win Party. I'm saying it openly. I am pro PPP 100%. So I will only talk in favor of the PPP. I love Ali. Okay, I'm pretending. Do I look like I'm pretending? I'm saying things for people to think that, oh, he's impartial, he's unbiased. No, I'm not impartial. I am biased. I am partial to the PPP. Meaning I only stand with and for the PPP. You don't hear that in my statements. You still think. Folks, you don't understand. I get hundreds of messages. They call me all day. My WhatsApp, my number, they all over the place. You'll be surprised from the countries that they contact me. Not just out the Guyana, all over the world. And they're trying to convince me. I don't take all of it. I check some of it, but I don't bother with most of it. So I have to address them here because I can't talk to all of them on online. It's too much. So I'm making a broad statement. I'm telling you, I'm PPP all the way. It will never change. That's how it is. Okay? I also said I'm Indo-Guyanese. I'm not African. I wasn't born in Africa. I don't have the nationality of any country in Africa, so I'm not African. Biologically, I'm Negro, Negroid, but I identify as Indian. Durga, it's my deity. How more clear can I make it? How more clear? So stop sending me things that you want me to use my platform against my party. I'm not going to betray them for you, for PNZ, for Ajradin. You got to be kidding me. Even if you, let's make this funny. Even if you, okay, come with your sexy self and say, Dr. Prasad, I would let you have sex with me if you can publicly denounce the PPP. And if you are a virgin, I will tell you disrespectfully, go fuck yourself and keep your pussy. That's how loyal I am to the PPP. I'm going to turn down your money and your pussy. Not interested. So don't come. Don't contact me. Don't call me. Don't send me text messages unless you are a pro Ali, pro PPP. Don't bother. Okay? You keep doing this thing, man. I have to keep saying this, using valuable time to tell you every time, don't contact me. You're still doing it. I ain't a hypocrite. I'm Muhammad, or Amanza Walter Desir, or Tabitha Haley. I'm not a hypocrite. They're hypocrites. They're soup drinkers. They hopscotch. I've been a Jaganite all my life. All my life. Never once stepped anywhere else. You think I'll start now? Why? Because of what? Bunch of idiots. Anyway, did I cover everything? Yeah. I have, basically, yeah, I have. You see, I write stuff, I memorize it, and I talk. Apart from the opposition leader, he has to read stuff. At least he knows his grammar to read they and that and them and it and when and went, and you could identify those words and read them in sentences. Good for you. Good for you. However, thanks for your attention. Share this live. I want to hear in your comments, from your comments. Until next time, goodbye.